The scene in Nova Scotia yesterday. Celebratory fireworks to mark the start of lobster fishing season on parts of the south shore of Nova Scotia. Crews taking their boats out one stretch to begin setting the traps. Dumping day, as it's known. This could be busiest week of the year in that area, and this is the most lucrative fishery in the country. Fishing crews in other parts of the province are still waiting for their chance to get onto the water, waiting in large part for proper conditions. We'll talk about that in just a second. But it is not just weather conditions that are causing a real sense of anticipation for some lobster crews this year. It is also the prospect of going electric when it comes to their lobster boats. Now, Brett Ruskin has been traveling across Nova Scotia, talking to crews about this. We've been waiting for this story, Brett. You've been tantalizing us on our news team that this is coming, and so, of course, it's the perfect week as the season gets underway. Tell us a little bit about the design and really potential of electric-powered fishing boats, lobster fishing boats.
Yeah, Heather, this is really an interesting story because it's been kind of building. There was a report back in the fall saying, hey, look, this is something that is feasible in terms of transitioning from the diesel-powered boats that we see that typically would be here. They're out fishing right now, and transitioning more to an electric style boat, whether it be a hybrid or a fully electric. So kind of like we saw with cars, now seeing it with boats. So to find out, kind of start us off, figure out what we're actually talking about here, I went and spoke with Sue Malloy. She is the CEO of Glass Ocean Electric, and they are converting existing fishing boats to become diesel electric hybrids. Have a look.
We have a shaft that comes through the boat to the propeller, and above that shaft we have put our electric motor. You can see the size of the electric motor is not very big. It fits underneath the deck. And then we have a belt system to attach to a sprocket on the drive shaft.
And so that's one example. There's also a company on Prince Edward Island that is building custom-made hybrid electric boats. There is also a company down in Lunenburg that are making, they've converted and created a fully electric workboat. And then by sometime next year, we expect to see a fully electric lobster fishing boat, the first one in existence, coming out of Cape Breton. Again, that's within the next year or so. So changes are afoot in the industry. Heather.
So obviously this could have a big impact. I'm wondering, as you talk to fishermen, though, getting set to begin their season, what do they think about the idea?
Yeah, so I wanted to get kind of a full snapshot. I really drove the length of Nova Scotia, from northern mainland Nova Scotia down to Pubnico, down to that area there. So let's start up in the north. And this isn't, cut and dry, the same geographic divide, but, it is, there's a varied opinion, but it usually mostly fits in the north, where boats are a little bit smaller, they stay a little bit closer to shore, and their days are a little bit shorter, leaving in the morning, coming back in the afternoon. Here's what they had to say, what one fisherman, Andrew Arbuckle, had to say about the notion of switching over to electric.
I think we've done a great job. I'm fourth generation. I'm fishing the same species my great-grandfather fished, right? So we're obviously doing a very good job. And so I see this as a continuation of those sustainability measures.
And so that optimism, that curiosity is likewise met with contempt down in the southwestern area, where boats are bigger, conditions tougher, days are longer. Here's what those fishing crews had to say in southern Nova Scotia.
50 miles out inside a long extension cord.
It's just wishful thinking. It ain't gonna work.
Now, is this just about grumpy fishing captains not wanting change?
These captains who run these vessels and run their small businesses are business people. Believe me, if they can find a nickel or a place to save a nickel, they will. But an electric motor is not a way to save money.
And so, again, that is kind of a snapshot of what people are saying about the notion of switching over to electric boats. Lots of division of opinion. I have more details on a web story that's been published now. We have more details on the National coming up this evening on a story. So it seems like a good idea to switch to electric. It's a matter of getting everyone on board. That might take some time.